This is it, the Resident Evil 2 review. It is, of course, Resident Evil month, everyone, and it has all been leading up to this. We did our playthroughs, we did a full Leon playthrough, then a Claire second run playthrough, and you know, it is Sunday, the game came out on Friday, it's only been out for 48 hours, but I've played through it probably about 5 or 6 times already, so I think I have a problem, and I think we're ready to review the game. Now, of course, my blind playthroughs are up on my YouTube channel, so you can see all of my reactions as they're happening, as I'm playing the game. Especially when I start off the Leon campaign. That was the very first night, like the night before, when it came out, and I was so giddy, man. I was so excited, and they did such an amazing job with this game, capturing not only capturing the characters and the story and the zombies, whatever, but capturing the feel of the game. It really feels like how you remember playing it. Let me start off by saying I think Capcom nailed it. I think they nailed it. It looks incredible. The Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it is really something else. Just like the textures, the lighting, the atmosphere, the mood it's able to create. We've seen this engine run a few games now, and they all look stellar. And it's really clear that Capcom invested in this engine, and it is paying off big time because this game looks incredible. And look and atmosphere are such important parts of a horror game. You know, it's really tough to make a game that's both fun and scary. You know, if a game is just like too scary, too over the top, something like Outlast comes to mind, where it's like Outlast scared the shit out of me, but once it was done, I'm just like, fuck that, I'm never going back. I'm never playing that shit again. But with Resident Evil 2, it's like, it's definitely scary. There's a lot of jump scares. There's a lot of points when I was playing where I was legit screaming. And then when it was done, I wanted to go right back and do it all over again. It is really hard to make a game that's terrifying but insanely fun, and you want to jump right back in immediately after playing. Not a lot of games can do that. You know, the RPD is back, and just navigating the RPD, the police station, and finding all of the puzzles and unlocking the rooms and just learning your way around. I think that was it's like one of the most fun experiences. It's such a rewarding thing to finally get that key that you were looking for, to finally figure out what door those damn bolt cutters open. It's one of the parts of the game I enjoy the most, because even after you've done it for the first time, even after, you know, you get the satisfaction of clearing the game, but after that, one of the things that I enjoy the most is playing the game again, getting that time as low as possible and figuring out all of your pathing. Oh, as soon as I get this, I can just skip all of this and go straight to this objective. You know, I've already managed to get under 2 hours, which is crazy to think about. Like, the first time I played through this game, my first run that's already up on YouTube, it's 7 hours long. It's just like a testament to really good game design, because you have a game that really, if you're going super fast, you could probably beat it in like an hour and a half, less than 2 hours. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to take quite a bit longer, and you're going to spend a lot of time figuring things out and exploring, and just the fact that both of those things are fun. Exploring the 7-hour playthrough and all of that was a blast, and then plowing through it in under 2 hours, that is just as fun. And there are so many secrets in this game, there's so many things to unlock and uncover, and there's a lot of things even on my first playthrough that I just missed. There was this weapons case, for instance. I had no idea how to open it, but now I know, but I didn't know at the time, and I just fuck it, and I just kept on going. And there are so many things like that in this game, where the more you put into it, the more you explore, you know, just develop every piece of film and read everything, and you're really going to get so much more out of it. And you know, when I say, oh, my first run took me 7 hours, you know, to some people 7 hours, that's such a short game, but the game really, really is about replayability. There's 4 different scenarios, there's 4 different, you know, campaigns depending on which character you start with. I also the first time you beat the game, you unlock these alternate nostalgic costumes, and they're actually super sick. The cool thing is I thought it was just gonna be, okay, Leon's just gonna be in his regular uniform the whole time. That's pretty cool. But I played through it in that costume, and it actually changes just like it did in the original. After he gets shot, he's got the bandages and everything over, and it looks exactly how it did in the original game. It's such a cool little attention to detail. You can tell so many things with this game. It's such a love letter to the fans of the original. It is a remake, so they're telling the same story. It's in the same, you know, hits the same story beats and everything like that. But at the same time, it is quite a bit different. a lot of characters in the game are quite a bit different. Characters like Annette Birkin in particular, you know, she was kind of just like, she was super villainous, you know, she was a straight up bad guy in the original, but they really kind of like humanized her and showed kind of her perspective, and especially when you're playing through Claire's campaign, like, you know, she's basically sacrificing her daughter. She's basically saying, like, look, I can save my daughter, I can give her, you know, the antivirus or whatever, but if I do that, I'm gonna ignore Birkin and he could escape, and then millions of people can be in danger. So she makes the really tough decision of like sacrificing Sherry, and so obviously Claire takes it upon herself to get the antivirus and such. But it was a real kind of like different perspective and different aspect, and they really kind of like flesh out her character quite a bit. But not just for Annette, even characters like Marvin or the gun shop, the guy from the Kendo gun shop is there, and he's got like a really sad scene with his daughter there that I was not expecting at all. So I think they did an amazing job of telling the same story, because it is hitting the same beats. So they told the same story, but they really kind of humanized it, made it a little bit less cheesy. You know, part of the charm of the original one is, you know, there's a bit of hokiness, there's a bit of like B-level kind of like movie thing going on. But here they make it a lot more human, a lot more believable, even in these like crazy larger than life situations. And I'm not gonna lie, the game can be like pretty challenging, especially in scenario B, or the second run. And you guys will see it if you watch my Claire playthrough. First of all, Mr. X is super hyper aggressive, especially in the second run. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Mr. X, and there's a lot of different opinions about it, and I'll get to Mr. X in a second. But not only just Mr. X, but like just regular zombies are like a huge threat in this game. They take a ton to put down. They're so hard to kill, and they'll just keep on getting right back up. You have to destroy their head, or if you leave the area and then you come back, they'll just come right back to life. And they do a crap ton of damage. And that's just the base zombies. Then when you think about lickers are like the most terrifying shit in this game. Luckily, you can counter them pretty easily by just not running. I actually think I avoided way more lickers in this game than I killed. And then there's those bastards in the sewer. The G monsters, or whatever the hell they're called. There's this one part where you have to go and retrieve these 2 chest pieces, and you need to get through this long stretch of sewer where there's like probably about 4 or 5 of these G monsters, and you'll get poisoned and you'll get grabbed, and they take so much damage to kill. It was a brutal part of the game. Even when I was playing with Leon, it was rough, man. They're insanely hard to kill, and because you're in the sewer, you're in like waist deep water, so your movement is a little bit hindered. That was like one part of the game where I think I was getting like kind of frustrated, that one little sewer area. But you know, knowledge is power. Again, I've played through the game several times since, and now I know what to expect. I know to bring those blue herbs and defense items, and don't even try to kill them. I just run right past them. And if they grab me, I just use a defense item and I get my ass out of there. I think the sewers in general were kind of a pain to navigate that first time around. Even like in my subsequent playthroughs, it's still like I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But you know, I've seen quite a few people talk about the sewers, and I think it is kind of one of the more frustrating parts of the game. But do you know what? Once you learn it, you can actually get through it pretty quick. And then speaking of the monsters, I was so happy to see that the gator was back. The alligator in the sewers, you kill him the same way and everything, and he's terrifying, and he looks crazy scary, and he's huge, and he's fast. Playing through it for the first time, it was such an awesome moment. And then, of course, there's Mr. X. Good old Mr. X. You know, I've played through it several times, and you know, I had, especially in my second run, when I was playing as Claire, in my second run there, I was getting a little bit frustrated with Mr. X because he was so hyper aggressive. He's crazy aggressive, especially in your second run, because he shows up way earlier, and he was on me. He was on me. And you know, some people don't like Mr. X, just like straight up. A lot of people I'm seeing, especially like over on the Resident Evil subreddit and on GameFAQs and stuff like that, I've kind of looked around, and a lot of people are just like, oh man, Mr. X, he just won't stop, and you want to like stop and you want to explore and you want to take your time to figure things out. But no, Mr. X, he's tailing your ass. He's always in your face. He's always walking, always stepping, and he can feel a little oppressive at times. But at the same time, if Mr. X wasn't there in my second run play as Claire there, if he wasn't there, that run probably wouldn't have been nearly as intense. So you kind of have to think about that too. It's like, okay, well, what would it be like if he wasn't here? I think the RPD would feel quite a bit less threatening if Mr. X wasn't always walking around. Perhaps I could see an argument to maybe scale down his aggro in like the lower difficulty settings, but for me, like, I really made peace with it. I'm just like, you know, this is the game design. He really does make the situation more intense, especially in that second run. Again, Jesus Christ. And at the end of the day, I think he's better in the game than not in the game. But again, knowledge is power. You know, in my subsequent runs, once I knew what key items were where and what keys unlocked which doors, and I was quickly flying through the RPD and not doing nearly as much backtracking, you know what? Mr. X becomes a lot less of an issue the more you play the game, and the more easily you're able to navigate around the police station. You know, I think like speedrunners are complaining about him because he isn't scripted. He is like 100% random. But for me, like, I'm no speedrunner or anything like that. So when I'm going through the game for like the 10th time, I think having that little bit of randomness, that little zest, little spice, just having Mr. X, and you know, kind of forces you to think on the fly and to be quick. And you know, you're not just playing the game on autopilot. In that sense, I actually think he makes the game more fun. Honestly, I don't know what more I could have asked for out of a Resident Evil 2 remake. It is hitting all of the right notes for me. I absolutely love it. I give this game like a 9.5 out of 10, man. I don't know. And even that 0.5, maybe because of the sewer sequence and stuff like that, but as close to Resident Evil perfection as you could probably get. And the crazy thing is I haven't even touched like 4th survivor mode or anything like that. I still want to go and do some hardcore runs, and we're gonna stream those, so it's gonna be tons of fun. There's so much more I have left to do with this game, even though I've played it like 5-6 times. I've gotten my time to under 2 hours. I can't wait to play more. It's just that good. But anyways, that is it for my review, my thoughts on Resident Evil 2 Remake. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think about the game. And you know what? That is it. That is pretty much it for Resident Evil month. We've had a blast. I've made a shitload of Resident Evil videos this month. Kind of excited to talk about something else. But you know what? I still have a Resident Evil 4 playthrough that's like 3/4 the way done. I still need to finish, so it'll probably go up in February. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed Resident Evil month as much as I have, and thank you so much for watching. Peace out.